UN Global Compact on Migration. Unity of Purpose. 13. This Global Compact recognizes that safe, orderly, and regular migration works for all when it takes place in a well-informed, planned, and consensual manner. Migration should never be an act of desperation. When it is, we must cooperate to respond to the needs of migrants in situations of vulnerability and address the respective challenges. We must work together to create conditions that allow communities and individuals to live in safety and dignity in their own countries. We must save lives and keep migrants out of harm's way. We must empower migrants to become full members of our societies, highlight their positive contributions, and promote inclusion and social cohesion. We must generate greater predictability and certainty for states, communities, and migrants alike. To achieve this, we commit to facilitate and ensure safe, orderly, and regular migration for the benefit of all. 14. Our success rests on the mutual trust, determination, and solidarity of states to fulfill the objectives and commitments contained in this Global Compact. We unite in a spirit of win-win cooperation to address the challenges and opportunities of migration in all its dimensions through shared responsibility and innovative solutions. It is with this sense of common purpose that we take this historic step, fully aware that the Global Compact for safe, orderly, and regular migration is a milestone, but not the end to our efforts. We commit to continue the multilateral dialogue at the United Nations through a periodic and effective follow-up and review mechanism, ensuring that the words in this document translate into concrete actions for the benefit of millions of people in every region of the world. 15. We agreed that this Global Compact is based on a set of cross-cutting and interdependent guiding principles. People-centered. The Global Compact carries a strong human dimension to it, inherent to the migration experience itself. It promotes the well-being of migrants and the members of communities in countries of origin, transit, and destination. As a result, the Global Compact places individuals at its core. International cooperation. The Global Compact is a non-legally binding cooperative framework that recognizes that no state can address migration on its own due to the inherently transnational nature of the phenomenon. It requires international, regional, and bilateral cooperation and dialogue. Its authority rests on its consensual nature, credibility, collective ownership, joint implementation, follow-up, and review. National sovereignty. The Global Compact reaffirms the sovereign right of states to determine their national migration policy and their prerogative to govern migration within their jurisdiction, in conformity with international law. Within their sovereign jurisdiction, states may distinguish between regular and irregular migration status, including as they determine their legislative and policy measures for the implementation of the Global Compact, taking into account different national realities, policies, priorities, and requirements for entry, residence, and work in accordance with international law. Rule of law and due process. The Global Compact recognizes that respect for the rule of law, due process, and access to justice are fundamental to all aspects of migration governance. This means that the state, public, and private institutions and entities, as well as persons themselves, are accountable to laws that are publicly promulgated, equally enforced, and independently adjudicated, and which are consistent with international law. Sustainable development. The Global Compact is rooted in the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and builds upon its recognition that migration is a multidimensional reality of major relevance for the sustainable development of countries of origin, transit, and destination, which requires coherent and comprehensive responses. Migration contributes to positive development outcomes and to realizing the goals of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, especially when it is properly managed. The Global Compact aims to leverage the potential of migration for the achievement of all sustainable development goals, as well as the impact this achievement will have on migration in the future. Human rights. The Global Compact is based on international human rights law and upholds the principles of non-regression and non-discrimination. By implementing the Global Compact, we ensure effective respect, protection, and fulfillment of the human rights of all migrants, regardless of their migration status, across all stages of the migration cycle. We also reaffirm the commitment to eliminate all forms of discrimination, including racism, xenophobia, and intolerance against migrants and their families. Gender responsive. The Global Compact ensures that the human rights of women, men, girls, and boys are respected at all stages of migration. Their specific needs are properly understood and addressed, and they are empowered as agents of change. It mainstreams a gender perspective, promotes gender equality, and the empowerment of all women and girls, recognizing their independence, agency, and leadership in order to move away from addressing migrant women primarily through a lens of victimhood. Child-sensitive. The Global Compact promotes existing international legal obligations in relation to the rights of the child and upholds the principle of the best interests of the child at all times as a primary consideration in all situations concerning children in the context of international migration, including unaccompanied and separated children. Whole-of-government approach. The Global Compact considers that migration is a multidimensional reality that cannot be addressed by one government policy sector alone. To develop and implement effective migration policies and practices, a whole-of-government approach is needed to ensure horizontal and vertical policy coherence across all sectors and levels of government. Whole-of-society approach. The Global Compact promotes broad multi-stakeholder partnerships to address migration in all its dimensions by including migrants, diasporas, local communities, civil society, academia, the private sector, parliamentarians, trade unions, national human rights institutions, the media, and other relevant stakeholders in migration governments. This has been the end to the UN Global Compact on Migration. Unity of purpose.